Her name is Melinda. And when she met Moore-Gayle, she was skeptical of his charming nature, but couldn't deny how attracted she was to him. Once they fell in love, Melinda molded herself into everything he wanted her to be. She sacrificed for him, worked to support his grandiose dreams, and put up with him for better or for worse, just as any married couple is obligated to do. Then one day she realized, after all she had done, another woman was reaping the lavish rewards that he had promised her. That's when Melinda had lost it, and now she cannot let go. My name is Sterling Still, and today, for my Tyler Perry playlist, I will be giving you my summary / testimony / review on Acrimony, the story of how this woman fell into her doom through her emotions. Before I begin, if you are new, don't forget to subscribe, share, like, comment on whatever good or bad you have to say. Follow me on IG, and most importantly, watch and listen to everything, because everything that I have to say is how I feel about the movie. Let's get started. The story of Acrimony is one that feels a lot less focused on a woman and how she was portrayed, and more about a woman who does not know herself. The film begins with the definition of acrimony because that is what Tyler Perry knows we came to expect, especially since Taraji P. Henson is the lead, and no better person to play a character with a whole lot of acrimony than the one actress who is well associated with playing quick-tempered characters. For the first third, it feels like temptation all over again with Journey. But there is a moment that becomes the catalyst to the rest of the story. The majority of the film almost repeats a congruent timeline to Temptation as far as flashbacks and storytelling. But it is made clear that it doesn't center on a woman's fall from grace. That's later. Or how she is addicted to him. That already happened. The truth is, it's complicated. Collectively, the film sees its protagonists experience different emotions and psychological phases. It goes in the order of acrimony. Bitterness of an ill feeling, resentment, bad blood, animosity, venom, malice. Sunder, meaning division, splitting apart, separate. Bewailing, expressing great regret, disappointment, or bitterness over something. Deranged, crazy, mad, insane, and inexorable, impossible to stop or prevent, meaning it is too late, much too late. Every one of these phases transcends the tension and the weight that is brought upon Melinda and her feelings towards a Robert. So, Tyler Perry takes the character of Moore-Gayle and uses her as an anti-stereotype. Yeah, whatever. In other words, she is used to represent and exemplify what exactly it takes for a woman to lose her way in her soul. The potential for Melinda to lose her way first came after her mother died. She has always had somewhat of an anger issue, but this and many other emotions that Robert hadn't seen yet have started to get the best of her afterwards. Now, Mr. Gayle, Robert, her man, is of course Melinda's lover, and is somebody that the movie wants us to trust. It's novice to look at Robert's stupid decision from the scope of Melinda, because it is how any woman of any race, I don't care if you are black, or white, Latina, or whatever in between is the last thing they want to see, or how they would react if they saw their man out and about with some whore. However, these mistakes cause us to sort of root for Melinda and the way she feels, but at the same time, we know that he is a man who makes mistakes. He is a man that is pulling the same slips and decisions made out of the flesh, the desires of the flesh, like anybody else, like any other man would do, like any other man has the potential to do. Then, when something suspicious happens with the same girl many years later, she gets led into the sunder phase. She has seen it before and heard the same BS and ain't trying to put up with it. Okay, so she divorces him. All the while, this is making her feel better. But as you know, no matter what the cause of it was, a divorce is nothing you should ever celebrate. Because getting a divorce is much worse than losing a spouse to death. It even says it in the vows, till death do us part. Meaning we shall be together in holy matrimony unless you or me deceases on this earth. But we shall still be together in spirit. So when someone gets divorced, it is a whole lot much worse than losing someone to death. Because when someone dies, it's more like closure. Next, we witness everything go well for Robert, and his dream becomes fulfilled, having a self-preserved battery, self-energized battery. And thanks Melinda for giving him the confidence and thrusting him into hard labor, even though he ain't even have a job. Suddenly, she feels bewailed. She feels a strong sense of regret for everything that she has said or thought towards him. It is one of those times where you deeply, deeply regret everything you have ever done to somebody. And it is not like she did not support him, but she also didn't stick by him long enough to see a breakthrough happen. Unfortunately, the big break that happens, that eventually is exposed, that we find out leans on the same whore that he got himself wet with all those years ago. She takes a quick mood swing, going from bewailed to deranged, and everything is changed from this point on. The acrimony is the fire inside of Melinda, and the gem behind the success is what poured the gasoline on that fire and made it untamed. And untamed it became. This is just the most natural thing to spark Tyler Perry's signature melodrama, which we had already seen from another character Taraji played in a previous Tyler Perry release in 2008. I'm referring to I Can Do Bad All By Myself. It was either 2008 or 2011, but it came before this. She has no right to be pissed off at this man legally, but she does have the right maritally. She signed the papers. Despite this, she lets out the wildfire at this man because of who he is with rather than what he is doing with his life. There is a part of me, Sterling Still, that understands why she is pissed. But at the same time, she ought to be pissed at herself for letting him go for a good reason at too soon of amount of time. She has come to the breaking point of her doom that if she continues to escalate into the inexorable, thou consequences shall be severe. Thou consequences shall be even worse than what she anticipated. There is no stopping what has already happened and what has already became permanent and what has already became reofficialed. Rotten Tomatoes gives it a 17%. Acrimony is just as carefully written and paced as Temptation. And it sports a commonality for the audience that is all too associated with Taraji P. Henson. The commonality is all too associated with Taraji, but it is something that still hits the audience. With, we've seen this type of thing with characters like Cookie Lion and Yvette from Your Boy, Baby Boy, and a few other things, I'm sure. And April from I Can Do Bad. Just quick-tempered, loud-mouthed, foul-mouthed women. The stronghold of focusing on the psychological phases of its protagonist makes for an intriguing watch. Acrimony deserves 9.2 out of 10 and A- just for being a level of intrigue psychologically and thematically. But that is everything I have to say. That is my story. And I plead the fifth, no further questions. The jury on YouTube and Instagram